brand new people. You get to be a brand new person. You get to create a whole new life. You get to rewrite your own story. I think sometimes you get so used to being around your friends and your family, you kind of put yourself in a box, or you put yourself in a bubble of who you think you are or who you think you're supposed to be, or the expectation for you from your mom, from your dad, from your siblings, from your friends, of who they think you are. And sometimes you think that that's who you are. But if you never get outside of that, you'll never reach your fullest potential.
I'm a dog, but I still wanna party. Pink felt like I'm ready to bend. I'm a 10, so I pull in a 10. Like Jazzy, Stacy, all of the bodies is pretty. Damn, all of the bodies is bad. It girls, and we ain't playing tag.
Hey guys, it's Drea and welcome back to my channel. So it's been a long time since I've done this type of video where I just sat down and just talked at the camera to you guys, but it's something that's been on my mind like all week, and I was like, you know what? Let's just make a video about it. Basically, what I want to talk about today is why you should move out of your home state. The importance of the growth and experiences and the lifestyle change that you can get from leaving your hometown, leaving your home state, and exploring your options of life and just dreaming big. So, I am originally from Prince George's County, Maryland, born and raised. And when I was in high school, I always dreamed of living in New York City. That was a big, big dream of mine. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I knew that it would happen eventually. And I figured it out, and I went to school at the Fashion Institute of Technology in New York City, graduated with my bachelor's degree in advertising, marketing, and communications. So that was the first state that I lived in away from home. I met so many different types of people there: Black people, white people, people from the Middle East, Asian people, Hispanic people, Nigerian people, Ethiopian people, Ghanaian people. I met people from every different race and culture, and especially at FIT, where there's just people from every background in that school. I remember one of the girls that I was close with, she was actually from Malaysia. And you wouldn't, and it was like another girl in my class who was literally from Israel. So it's like you don't go into these type of spaces expecting to not only meet people from places like that, but also relate to them, connect with them, become close with people like that, learn about their culture, their way of life, how they were raised, the things that they eat, how they celebrate different holidays. And that was like the first time where I saw my growth and felt myself like expanding and progressing like as a person. That was like the first time where I'm like, okay, this is cool. Like I grew up around predominantly Black people, and I love my Black people, but it was nice to just like get out and like learn about like other people who aren't the same color as me or weren't raised the same way as me. And then when I got out of college, I really wanted to move to LA. I was like, okay, I'm either going to move to LA or I'm going to move to Miami. But I ended up moving to Miami, and when I got to Miami, I met so many different people from the islands, from Trinidadian people to Haitian people, people from Bahamas, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Cuba, like any and everybody from the islands or really all over the world is in Miami. So I'm trying different foods. I'm celebrating holidays I never celebrated before. I'm learning new languages. It really gave me the opportunity to get to know people that I would have never met if I stayed in my hometown. And not even just about my experience with other people, moving to a different state helped me grow as a person. I think sometimes you get so used to being around your friends and your family, you kind of put yourself in a box, or you put yourself in a bubble of who you think you are or who you think you're supposed to be, or the expectation for you from your mom, from your dad, from your siblings, from your friends, of who they think you are. And sometimes you think that that's who you are. But if you never get outside of that, you'll never reach your fullest potential. You may have ideas and things that you want to do, but you don't do them because you're like, well, what is my mom going to think about that? Or what are my friends going to think about this? Or what are my classmates going to think about this? Like, I've had those feelings and thoughts so many times. Even when it comes to posting certain things on Instagram, sometimes the people in your hometown could be the main people holding you back, because sometimes when other people are not growing, they don't care to see you grow. So you could share, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that. And someone might be like, I don't know. I don't know about that. Or they just don't encourage you because they're not stepping outside of themselves. So why would they encourage you to step outside of yourself? I feel like when I moved to a different state, I didn't have that noise of people telling me, oh, this is not a good idea, or being afraid to share my ideas with people because my only option was to do it because I was in a different place. I had my peace of mind, and I really got to figure out who I was, what I wanted to do, and how I wanted to execute it. And I think that when you move outside of your home state, you get the space and opportunity to be more creative because you're around new people, you're having new experiences, the scenery is different, the way the air smells is different, the people, the language the people are speaking are different. You're literally influenced by the things around you. And if you stay in a box, you stay in the same place your whole entire life, I mean, of course you can be inspired. Of course you can move and shake in your hometown. But I feel like the real inspiration for me came when I moved to a different state. I've lived in Nebraska. I've lived in Atlanta, Georgia. I've lived in Savannah, Georgia. I've lived in New York City. I've lived in Miami, Florida. I lived so many different places and I've been influenced by so many different people, so many different cultures. I have friends all over the world. I have a friend who would say, hey, don't just move out of your home state, move to a different country. I have a friend who lives in Brazil. And some people might say, oh, well, you can just traveling. Traveling versus living somewhere is completely different. When you travel somewhere, you got a hotel, you got an itinerary, you got a rental car, you got the people who you came on the trip with. It's organized fun and an organized experience. When you move somewhere completely different, everything is a surprise. You're gonna have your apartment and you're gonna have your car and hopefully a job, and the rest is a big surprise. You don't know what's gonna happen. You literally have to navigate in a new space. You have to figure out where the store is. You have to figure out how to get there. You have to figure out what the best grocery store is. You gotta figure out what gas station you like to go to now. Like everything that you thought that you knew flips like this. Whole new routine. You got new friends. If you want to date, you got to figure out the dating scene. So I think as somebody in their 20s, while you're in your 20s, you're more likely to change and do things differently. I feel like once you start getting in your late 20s and 30s, you kind of become like this routine person that doesn't really want to change much. You kind of used to the way your life is. So I'm kind of speaking to my 20 something year olds right now that want to do something beyond what they're already doing. Do it now. Because when you get older, you're going to get complacent and you're not going to feel like completely changing your life. You're not going to want to do that when you get older. So stop putting it off. Do it now. I can say that it has changed my life for the better in so many different ways. I can have different conversations with different people from all over the world because I know people from all over the world. When I came to Miami, I met so many Haitian people. I know a little bit of the language. I know about the different dishes that they eat. I enjoy some of the dishes. I go to Haitian restaurants. Like I can have a conversation with someone who's Habesha because I have Ethiopian friends. I can have a conversation and talk about different things that I would have never known or learned in my hometown. When I lived in Nebraska, it was mostly white people. Like I didn't feel like I could connect with them in any type of way. Like we didn't have much in common. Now, granted, I grew up around white people as well. I was on a swim team, but the white people in the middle of America are different from white people on the East Coast. A lot of them grew up on farms, they are from small towns, they've known the same people their entire lives. Some of them never even hung out with black people, or they don't really know a lot of black people, or the black people that they know are nothing like me. So it was hard meeting friends there, but eventually I did. And I remember I met this one friend. His father had came over and I was talking to his dad, whatever, whatever. And I remember a few weeks later, he told me that his dad was like, she's the reason why I like black people. Now, when you hear that, you will be like, what? That is so rude. Why would somebody say that? But I understood where he was coming from because he was ignorant to Black people. Like all he knew was what he saw on TV. And sometimes that might not be like the best representation of what a Black person is. So in his mind, he didn't like Black people. He didn't like what he saw. He didn't like what he thought black people represented. But when he met me, he was like, oh, Black people are cool, even though I'm only one Black person. But to him, it changed his whole perspective of what he thought about Black people. And that's one of the things that's important about getting to know other people of different backgrounds. Now, I was the one who moved to Nebraska. He didn't move out of Nebraska, but with me being in Nebraska, I was able to open up this guy's mind and expand the way he thinks. My whole purpose of this video is get out and do it while you can. I know it's scary. It is scary. It's lonely. When I got to Miami, I didn't know anybody. I didn't have any friends. I had an apartment by myself. That was the first time that I ever lived alone. And it took me a while to meet friends because that's another thing. Like meeting friends as an adult is so hard because you have to be vulnerable. Who wants to be vulnerable? Who wants to share secrets with a new person or trust the new person? So it's like you got to let those barriers down, you know? But when you get past that, the growth of it and where it takes you, you're going to be so happy that you did it. Yes, it's going to be hard, sad, depressing, lonely, but you have to make it an adventure. You get to rewrite your own story. I'm telling you, moving out of my hometown was the best thing I ever did. And now I'm in my 30s and I still don't live in my hometown. And I'm doing everything I can do to make sure I don't move back there because I literally start to settle. I literally get there and I feel my body starting to settle into a smaller version of myself. If you want to become a bigger, more knowledgeable, more well rounded person, I would say take the leap of faith. Find yourself an apartment, find yourself a job that you know can pay your bills, get in your car and go. So just do it. Even if you go and you move for a year, you have to go back home. That year, you're going to learn so much. You're going to grow so much. You're going to meet people, lifelong friends. You can meet your partner. You can meet your best friend. It is the experience of a lifetime to leave your hometown and grow as a person. So if it's been on your mind and it's been weighing heavy on you, please figure out what it takes to do it. I'm rooting you on. I'm here for you. If you have any questions, concerns, write it in the comments. I'll write you back. But I just want my young people who have dreams and aspirations to do it because I know people, friends, who always talked about doing things and never did it. And then they just look miserable. People are getting old, they're feeling unaccomplished, they're feeling regretful, they're wishing they can turn back the hands of time. And if you're in your 20s right now, you still have time. Don't become that person that is in their 30s that's not happy with the things that they did in their life. Trust me, you will regret it. So this was short and sweet, but I hope it got out to the right person. I hope it sends the right message. I hope the person who's been thinking about moving came across this video and now you're going to take that leap of faith and you're going to be in your new apartment in your new city completely happy.
And we can play tag.